In this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of having a flexible routine, right? We talk about having clarity and vision. You know, you want to be a player that can create consistent backspin. You can backspin the ball. You're adaptable. You can cover different pitch profiles. You feel like you're competent versus all different kinds of pitchers. You know, guys with vert, guys with sinker sliders, guys with ride run, cutter slider guys. Any of these players, any of these type of pitchers, we want to be prepared for. But we also need to be realistic and understand that we're not always going to be in an environment like I'm in this cage where we can go through every single step of our routine. A lot of you guys may be watching this, and go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. But a lot of you all watching this may be playing in a tournament. You may be on the road. You may have limited time to get your routine set up. So something that I always talk about with guys in Unfinished is you need to have a routine where you can go through basically 2 rounds in the cage and be able to get everything that you need in. Because a lot of times, especially through my career when I was, you know, AAA big league camp, a lot of times on the road, all you may have is just 15 minutes in the cage. And the reality is you have a group of 4 hitters, right? And nobody really prepares you for this because a lot of times we think everything's going to be ideally set up for you to succeed. And that's not the case, right? If you go to a draft showcase, if you go to a big league road game, you know, any minor league cage, you never know, right? You never know what the environment's going to be. It could be an older stadium. You could have limited time on the road. You need to have a routine that sets you up, right? And my #1 drill, which you can go ahead and download, but I love working at angles because angles force you to basically, with the right targets, force you to redirect. So if I do open angle here and I'm focused on redirecting and getting square here, I can do that for a couple of swings, and maybe I do some split grip open angle and really stick the finish with good body direction, good position, good setup and everything. And I'm really focusing on squaring these balls up. It doesn't have to be some max effort routine, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but whatever you need to have a routine where you can check a couple of boxes. And something that I like to tell my players, and we talk about a lot, is, you know, what are your non-negotiables, right? Is it PVC work? Is it doing low T where you really have to feel yourself staying over the plate and staying through the ball? You know, I've talked about that in another video about how to hit off the tee and create backspin, right? Is it open angle? Is it closed angle with a split stance and focusing on being square here, eyes behind, barrel square at contact, and then staying through contact, right? What is it? But no matter what that is for you as a hitter, you know, think about this. This is something that you want to always be keeping in mind is, can I get my routine done in 10, 15 minutes? Because that may be all you have. You know, any of you guys that have played enough baseball, you start to understand, and you're probably agreeing with this video, like, wow, yeah, you know, a lot of times the situation is not ideal. I mean, there are some times, if you're watching this, where I literally went through my entire routine imaginary, right? I didn't have a hitting coach in indie ball. I was staying at home while the team went on the road because my son was just being born. I would literally go in my backyard and visualize myself going through my entire routine, hitting BP, taking pitches, swinging at pitches, where I hit them. And before you know it, when the team came back, I was right, dialed in, plug and play right back into the lineup, didn't miss a beat, and I hadn't really necessarily seen live arm leading up to the week. Now, if you've played baseball, you know how crazy that is, but it also goes to show you the power of a routine and the mental freedom that it can give you, but also the power of your mind, right? So if you're not spending time being intentional about how you want to set yourself up for success in the game, don't be surprised when you don't get the results that you want, right? But also, you know, the main thing about this video is really having a routine where you can get your work done in a small amount of time and really get straight to the point, right? Something that I really preach is about being elite and simple, right? Being in a place where you can get a couple of drills done that sets you up, because if you can be simple and you can create backspin consistently, you can go out into BP or whatever it may be into the game and have freedom, right? There's discipline. When you have discipline, you have freedom. When you have a routine, you know what your day is going to look like. Even if it may be a little out of the ordinary, maybe it's a rain delay, you just never know, right? But as long as we have a vision and we have a plan for ourselves, and we're not just going with what coach is telling you to do or whatever the practice plan says, if you have a routine that's built for you, you're going to be in the best position to succeed. And when you're at your best, you're actually the best team player that you can be. Baseball is funny like that, right? It's a team game, but individually, you need to set yourself up to be your best so that you can impact the team the most, right? If you want help building out your own custom routine, building out a routine that works for you to create your best backspin, your best swing, I'll pin the comment below, but fill out an application. There may be spots, there may not at the time of you watching this video. I'd love to work with you one-on-one, unfinished player development. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.